The Hidden Drain. Dr. Kavita Rao's investigation into vitamin-depleting foods. The Hidden Drain. Dr. Kavita Rao's investigation into vitamin-depleting foods drive. Kavita Rao, a nutritional biochemist with a focus on micronutrient metabolism, often saw patients with seemingly adequate diets who nonetheless presented with subtle vitamin deficiencies. This paradox intrigued her. She began to suspect that certain dietary components, beyond simply lacking vitamins themselves, might actively deplete the body's existing vitamin stores or interfere with their utilization. Dr. Rao recalled a patient who, despite consuming a relatively high-fiber diet, showed signs of B12 deficiency. Further investigation revealed that the patient's very high intake of dietary fiber, coupled with other factors, was interfering with B12 absorption. This case sparked Dr. Rao's in-depth study into the world of vitamin-depleting foods and dietary patterns. Let's join Dr. Rao's investigation and explore the scientific evidence behind foods that can inadvertently lower our vitamin levels. Understanding vitamin dynamics, absorption, utilization, and excretion. Before we identify the culprits, it's important to understand how our bodies handle vitamins. Vitamins from food are absorbed in the digestive tract, utilized in various metabolic processes, and any excess, especially water-soluble vitamins, is typically excreted. Fat-soluble vitamins can be stored in the body. Vitamin depletion can occur through several mechanisms. Impaired absorption. Certain substances can bind to vitamins in the gut, preventing their absorption into the bloodstream. Increased excretion. Some foods or compounds can increase the rate at which vitamins are eliminated from the body. Increased utilization. While not strictly depletion, if the body's need for a particular vitamin is significantly increased, due to certain dietary patterns or substances, existing stores might become insufficient. Direct antagonism. Some substances can interfere with the metabolic functions of vitamins. Dr. Rao's research aimed to pinpoint foods and dietary patterns that significantly contribute to these processes. Dr. Rao's focus. Key dietary factors in vitamin depletion drive. Rao's study highlighted several dietary components with the potential to deplete certain vitamins. Alcohol. A known vitamin antagonist and depleter. Alcohol consumption is well known to interfere with the metabolism and absorption of several vitamins, particularly B vitamins, like thiamine, folate, and B12, as well as vitamin A and vitamin C. The mechanisms of alcohol-induced vitamin depletion. Impaired absorption. Alcohol can damage the lining of the digestive tract, reducing the absorption of various nutrients, including vitamins. Increased excretion. Alcohol can act as a diuretic, increasing the excretion of water-soluble vitamins through urine. It also affects liver function, which is crucial for storing and processing some vitamins. Direct interference. Alcohol can interfere with the conversion of some vitamins into their active forms and can antagonize their functions in the body. For example, it can impair thiamine utilization. Dr. Rao's work emphasized that chronic and heavy alcohol consumption poses a significant risk for multiple vitamin deficiencies. Processed foods high in refined carbohydrates and low in nutrients. While not directly depleting, in the sense of actively removing vitamins, a diet heavily reliant on processed foods high in refined carbohydrates, like white bread, pasta, sugary cereals, and pastries, can indirectly lead to vitamin deficiencies by displacing nutrient-dense foods. These empty-calorie foods provide energy but minimal vitamins and minerals. The displacement effect. When a significant portion of the diet consists of these nutrient-poor foods, individuals may not consume enough of the fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and lean proteins that are rich in vitamins. This can lead to a relative deficiency over time. Dr. Rao highlighted the importance of dietary quality and the need to prioritize nutrient-dense foods to ensure adequate vitamin intake. Certain medications and their impact on vitamin levels. While not foods, it's crucial to note that certain medications can also lead to vitamin depletion. Dr. Rao's research often considered this interaction. For example, diuretics, can increase the excretion of water-soluble vitamins like B vitamins and vitamin C. Proton pump inhibitors, PPIs, used for reducing stomach acid, can impair the absorption of vitamin B12 and other nutrients. Metformin, a diabetes medication, can sometimes lower vitamin B12 levels. Dr. Rao stressed the importance of discussing potential nutrient depletions with healthcare providers when taking long-term medications. Our current focus is on foods themselves, so we'll return to dietary factors. Phytic acid, binding minerals and potentially some vitamins. Phytic acid, or phytate, is a compound found in many plant-based foods, including grains, legumes, nuts, and seeds. It can bind to certain minerals in the gut, such as iron, zinc, and calcium, reducing their absorption. The phytic acid effect on vitamins. While the primary concern with phytic acid is mineral binding, very high intakes might theoretically affect the absorption or utilization of some fat-soluble vitamins that require fat for absorption, if it significantly interferes with fat digestion. However, the direct depletion of vitamins by phytic acid is less well established than its effect on minerals. Dr. Rao noted that traditional food preparation methods like soaking, sprouting, and fermenting can reduce phytic acid content, potentially improving nutrient bioavailability. High intake of processed foods with additives. Some processed foods contain additives that, while generally considered safe in approved amounts, might have subtle long-term effects on nutrient metabolism. For example, certain artificial colors or preservatives, when consumed in very high quantities, often exceeding typical intake, could theoretically interfere with vitamin absorption or utilization, although robust scientific evidence for significant vitamin depletion at typical consumption levels is often lacking. Dr. Rao's research focused more on the broader dietary patterns associated with high processed food intake, often low in overall nutrient density, as the primary concern for vitamin status. Specific foods and their potential to interfere with vitamin absorption drive. Rao's detailed analysis also looked at specific foods that, due to their composition, might hinder the absorption of certain vitamins. Raw egg whites, in very high quantities, contain avidin, a protein that can bind strongly to biotin, a B vitamin, potentially reducing its absorption if consumed in extremely large amounts and raw. Cooking denatures avidin, negating this effect. High amounts of dietary fiber, in some contexts, while generally beneficial, very high intakes of fiber can sometimes interfere with the absorption of certain nutrients, including vitamin B12, particularly in individuals with already marginal status or absorption issues. Dr. Rao emphasized that these effects are usually significant only under specific conditions, e.g., very high consumption, pre-existing deficiencies. Dr. Rao's comprehensive study designed to rigorously investigate the impact of these dietary factors on vitamin levels. Dr. Rao designed a multifaceted study, large-scale epidemiological analysis, examining data from national health and nutrition surveys to look for correlations between dietary patterns, high intake of alcohol, processed foods, etc., and lower levels of specific vitamins in the population. Controlled feeding trials, conducting studies where participants were fed diets high in specific potentially vitamin-depleting factors, e.g., high alcohol, high refined carbohydrates, while their blood vitamin levels were monitored over time. In vitro studies, investigating the mechanisms of interaction between specific food components, like phytic acid or certain additives, and vitamin absorption in a laboratory setting. Preliminary findings. Drive. Rao's preliminary analysis of epidemiological data showed associations between higher alcohol consumption and lower levels of B vitamins. Controlled feeding trials indicated that diets high in refined carbohydrates often correlated with lower intake of overall micronutrients, including vitamins. In vitro studies provided insights into how phytic acid could bind minerals, though its direct impact on vitamin absorption appeared less significant. The nuance of depletion, it's not always direct removal drive. Rao highlighted that vitamin depletion by food isn't always a direct removal of vitamins already in the body. Often, it's about reduced intake due to a diet dominated by nutrient-poor foods, impaired absorption due to interactions in the gut, increased need if certain dietary components increase the body's requirement for specific vitamins. For example, a diet very high in sugar might increase the need for B vitamins involved in glucose metabolism, potentially leading to relative deficiencies if intake isn't also increased. Dr. Rao's recommendations for a vitamin-protective diet based on her research. Dr. Rao advocated for a dietary approach that prioritizes vitamin adequacy by limiting alcohol consumption, minimizing intake of processed foods high in refined carbohydrates and added sugars, focusing on a diverse diet rich in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, lean proteins, and healthy fats, employing traditional food preparation methods, soaking, fermenting, where applicable, being mindful of potential medication-nutrient interactions. Reflect on your current dietary habits. Are there areas where you might be inadvertently consuming foods that could hinder your vitamin status? Consider making small, sustainable changes to prioritize nutrient-rich whole foods. The story concludes, towards a vitamin-sufficient world drive. Kavita Rao's detailed scientific study illuminated the often overlooked aspect of vitamin-depleting foods and dietary patterns. By understanding how certain foods and habits can impair vitamin absorption, increase excretion, or displace nutrient-rich options, we can make more informed choices to support optimal vitamin status. Dr. Rao's work underscored that a focus on dietary quality and moderation of potentially depleting factors is crucial for maintaining overall health and well-being.